We are live. How we
We
doing
are
tonight,
live.
everybody? It
What's going
is.
on, folks?
What episode are we on?
This
10?
is
No,
12.
12. Wow. 2 more episodes until the finale. We're getting up
We'll,
there.
we'll give them 3 more. We'll give them 3 more because I want to
Three
get
more. All right, we're giving the people what they want. 3 more. 3 more, he said.
and
We did
then
good last week.
because I want to get Allison on here one more time, and I want to try to bring someone else on here. I want to try to bring someone else on here, but aside the fact, we got the usual stuff tonight. Of course, family's homecoming
Well,
this weekend.
not the
Um,
usual. We got some special things this week. Homecoming isn't usual. Come on now.
I was going to also commend Brady's and Rodgers' struggles as being the usual. But yes, it is homecoming week. So, yes, get excited. Pour one up in the parking lot and smoke them if you got them. Because it is homecoming. It's going to be a good time. A winless Arkansas Pine Bluff team comes into brag. And when I say winless, I mean 0-4 in the SWAC. They come in. So we'll be live to discuss that tomorrow, as well as fantasy football stardom or sit 'em tonight, and then of course we're gonna recap the video that uninterrupted dropped as far as FAMU's path through the ineligible players and what took place and everything like that. We're gonna discuss that. I know I actually just watched it before I came on here, and it was very good. But Ace, you got anything?
I am gonna blast Dennis Allen later on in the NFL section, which I'll be posting the link on Twitter for that. So if y'all watching on Twitter, y'all can come in on the comment section and help join. We're gonna get him. I am sick of this man. He needs to go, and we need to start a petition to get this guy out of town.
I
But
remember.
anyway, yeah, it's been a good ride for Brady Rodgers. Go right off into the sunset.
I remember a certain somebody was so full of joy before the season started about Dennis Allen.
Well, I was optimistic, even though I didn't want him. They made me have to buy in,
It's
and
crazy.
I regret all my what's called buyer's remorse. I think I
Mhm.
got some buyer's remorse with him, 100%. And I'd go as far as to say he is worse than Nathaniel Hackett, who's going to get fired this week. Because the Jags are good in London. We know because they're going to be a franchise in London by the end of the decade.
Stop!
But
Don't say that. Don't say
we'll talk
that.
about that a bit later on. But be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, subscribe. We're running over on this intro already, so let's
Yeah.
run this thing and get going.
Let's go.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is JPeeps.
This is the Bug.
This is JC.
This is Flash.
This is Jimi Hendrix.
And you're listening to
And you're listening to
And you're listening to the Run and Gun Podcast.
All right. How do we do? Let's talk about some homecoming before we get into the most, because homecoming's most important, and then we get into the secondary most importance.
Of course, yes. This is FAMU's homecoming this weekend against Arkansas Pine Bluff. Also, want to acknowledge the fact that FAMU for 4 years straight is still the number one public HBC in the country. It is documented. For those of you that say FAMU brought nothing to the SWAC, you can go ahead and acknowledge the fact that the most prestigious academic school in the SWAC is FAMU. So have at it as you may. But yeah, it's homecoming. I'm looking forward to getting up there Friday, getting some chicken wings or some fried fish, and hopefully running into 80 Tiffany Sykes like I did Courtney Gaucher last year. I know I'm going to come back and I'm going to probably tell Ace about the whole story, and Ace is going to probably shake his head and be like, "You were supposed to be professional."
Oh, with the chicken? Yeah, I already remember that story.
Exactly. Although little does he know he'd be right there with me doing the same exact thing.
I wouldn't say you're wrong with that, sadly.
I know I'm not wrong. Everybody loves a good time. Also, too, I don't usually acknowledge this stuff, but Friday night, Rick Ross concert, of course. So, yeah, there's that. I will definitely be going to that. Looking forward to that. Can't wait. What else we got?
Any disappointments that College Game Day is going Jackson State instead of FAMU for homecoming, or you're finding America's coming?
Honestly, I'm not even disappointed. I know a lot of folks got differing opinions and stuff. I mean, I think it's good for the SWAC, and quite honestly, I'm rather surprised that it took College Game Day basically all this time to come back to an HBC campus. Mind you, the last HBC campus they went to was FAMU in 2008. Before that, 2005, the first HBCU event they ever went to was the Bayou Classic. And it wasn't even in New Orleans at the time. It was in Texas because of Hurricane Katrina. So, like, I'm not even, like I said, I'm not even upset. You know, I'll probably be watching while I'm also watching the homecoming parade, of course. So, I mean, kudos to Jackson State. I can't even be mad. I really can't.
What about this one? Talk about this?
How can FAMU still get into the FCS playoffs? I like that, but first things first, I want to hit on a little something before we do step to that. So I watched from the Uninterrupted group, they dropped a video. It was like a 12-minute video, and by the way, 12 minutes was not enough. Yes, exactly. 12 minutes was not enough, but they basically hit on, what went in and what happened bit by bit when FAMU found out those ineligible players weren't going to play. Isaiah Land even said himself, he didn't really start to worry until game week, that Monday, that he probably wasn't going to be able to play. And so, FAMU went into that game against UNC knowing possibly that they were going to have to start some true freshmen, that they weren't going to have a lot of guys available to play. They already knew, and they weren't going to go play the game. But eventually they settled and said, you know what, we're going to go play the game. This is going to happen. So I found out a couple things based on, right away, the aftermath. Less than a month after the FAMU players called attention to their hardships as student athletes, 6 other FAMU students filed a $1.6 billion class action lawsuit.
That's set for life if the lawyers take all of it, which is probably what will happen eventually. But they should probably end up getting all of that because, I mean, yeah, FAMU kind of... Yeah. They effed up.
Exactly.
Let's be real. That was one of the biggest F-ups in a college, university, or whatever you want to call it, for the decade. Well, albeit the decade's only two years old, but you know what I mean. Probably the last 2 decades even.
The lawsuit is against the state of Florida and the Board of Governors of the state university system. As well, too, the students allege that the state has mandated a segregated system of higher education and are seeking complete parity with Florida's predominantly white public institutions within the next 5 years. It's interesting. After FAMU football players spoke out, 17 of the 26 players battling compliance were cleared to play within a week. They demanded accountability from the university's leadership, calling for an internal audit and weekly meetings with University President Larry Robinson.
Mr. Dr. Robinson showing up again in the wrong context.
Exactly. And then something interesting just happened today as well. So the NCAA has notified Florida A&M of a clean audit of its Division I athletic performance program, APP. That's the good news.
So everything's clear now, but
yes, and luckily now you have an AD in place that can get the job done and that will see to it that these issues do not happen again. Now, my main takeaway from all of it was, you had a lot of guys like Jose Ramon Martinez and company saying a lot of those guys don't get their financial aid money. A lot of those guys had to sleep in the locker room. A lot of those guys weren't eating at night. They went to bed hungry. And they're expected to be these D1 athletes.
Yeah, they're gonna get some generational money from that action lawsuit.
Yeah. And this is why I constantly always banter home the fact, and I know people get tired of saying it, but I really much don't care. This is why I always say, honestly, this is why having a training table is heavily needed. Having a dining hall that's possibly open, maybe 24/7, possibly needed. You go to USF, you go to Florida State, the kids only got to show their ID and then they can eat whatever they want. And they eat good. Eat pretty darn good. I went into Florida State's dining hall for the athletes, and it was athletes only, and paid $20 just to sit down and have a full course meal. A simple spare $20 I didn't even know I had on me, and they let me in and eat for free. Or not for free. They let me in and eat, no problem, and get whatever I wanted. That's what needs to happen at FAMU. You need to have an athletes-only training table to avoid things like this happening. You need to get these kids their money because you and me both know, being a college kid, this stuff costs just to live. This ain't easy.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna drop for a second. Something is going on outside. I need to check what the hell that is.
Go ahead. I'll be right here. But yeah, guys, things that have been happening back since the 80s shouldn't be happening now. Willie Simmons even said some things that he was dealing with 19 years ago should not be happening today. So something has to change. Hopefully change is brought, because honestly, like Isaiah Land said, if the attention wasn't brought because of the video, a lot of these guys still wouldn't be able to play. And it sucks because now you've got people out there that automatically assume, well, these kids must not be going to class. These kids must not be that intelligent, which is a complete false. And you look like you make a complete ass out of yourself when you assume, which a lot of people did, that these kids weren't good athletes, or not good athletes, good students. But they were cleared to play. So those of you that are saying these kids weren't smart or something like that, you need to stop, because that's completely wrong and you look dumb. They did what they had to do. The system failed them. And the system cannot do that anymore going forward. It has to be better. Hopefully under new ADs, Tiffany Sykes, it is better. Hopefully kids get their financial aid money, because honestly, I've heard this multiple times from kids that don't even play sports where they didn't get their financial aid money and they've had to go through multiple rabbit holes. Multiple. It's shameful. All right, now Ace, you can bring up the other question. I'm done talking.
I can FAMU still get into the FCS playoffs.
Now
Yeah.
I simply put,
What the hell that is outside? That dog going crazy. Something happened out there. I don't know what the
it might be a raccoon.
No, like bang. So that's why I want to. Yeah. Who knows? Probably
But
trash can.
the way I look at it, you got 4 games left in the regular season. You only guaranteed 4 more. So you got Arkansas Pine Bluff, you got Southern, you got Alabama State, you got Bethune-Cookman. You can win all 4 of those, and if Southern is able to win the SWAC West and clinch and get a spot, that makes your case even better. Right now, you got UNC sitting on top of the Coastal. That's a good look for you. You got Jackson State, who's number 6, right behind North Dakota State in the FCS rankings. That looks good for you as well. So yeah, you got to keep on winning. What's happened the last 2 weeks can't happen this week, because quite honestly, as much as I guess I could have saved this for last night, tomorrow night, but I'll save it. I'll say it now. So what I was going to say tomorrow night, but I'm going to say now is this: you have a situation where a lot of people give FAMU a hard time because they say the worst was Albany State, or one of the worst games was Albany State, but one of your cleanest games that you play penalty-wise was Albany State. You had 3 penalties for 10 yards.
And you still weren't dominant. You were still kind of figuring yourself out.
Exactly. And now 2 weeks ago, you played Grambling.
I expect them to win 3 of these games. The Southern one is the toss-up one. It depends on what Southern team shows up.
Yes. Because remember, Southern got beat by is it the Southern team that got beat by Texas Southern? Or is it the Southern team that went into Texas and basically kicked Prairie View's ass on and off the field.
That's what I mean. It
Yeah,
depends on which one you get.
It's what. Yeah, I completely agree. And by then, I'd assume it's 14 home game winning streak on the line. The good thing is you got Southern coming to Tallahassee, but we'll see. I think they can win. They could
It's in
definitely.
Tallahassee, which is gonna save them, I think.
Yeah,
But when Southern went on the road, they did, whoop
Yeah.
some behinds.
yeah, exactly. Like I'll say that Saturday's going to tell you a lot about how this team may finish the season.
Mm-hmm.
If coming out of the bye week, you got to play your best football. From here on out, you got to make statements to finish the season out. So that's going to say a whole lot.
Were they on bye last week?
They were on their second bye week last week. Yes.
Okay, because I'm like, they didn't play last week.
And so was Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Well, Pine Bluff's been bad this year.
Oh, very bad. Yeah, they fired and
Exactly.
Gamble's gone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I expect them to win that game. I expect them to beat Alabama State, and I expect them to get beat with them.
I agree.
So Southern game, like I said, it depends on what team shows up. But I mean, your losses are UNC's pretty solid.
Yes.
Jackson State, we know Jackson State, and then you have Southern, who's gonna make a case for that West side. So you're like, hey, that's not bad of a schedule right there, if you know what I mean.
Exactly. It's really not. You played two very good teams. And for the people saying that, we just weren't prepared to play Jackson State, we haven't up to this point right now, we haven't shown much improvement.
They haven't been ready to play since.
Exactly. You haven't shown much improvement. We thoroughly just straight up got our asses kicked. Find me anyone watching this. Find me the silver lining where we improved. Besides just finding the end zone, where did we improve wholeheartedly from top to bottom from the JSU
A little
game?
bit more consistency in quarterback play, yes. If you want to say that much, that's like if you're like nitpicking at. That's the most you could probably say.
Exactly. I mean, and the offensive production, honestly, in my opinion, dropped off after the Alabama A&M game.
Okay, something's definitely going on outside. I don't know.
It'll
I'm
be
not going to pay too
fine.
much attention to it.
If they come in and get you, they just come in and get you.
Yeah, man. We'd be good.
They just come in and get you. So I'll say this. Magic City Classic this weekend too, and oh my gosh, is it
No lemon pepper wings.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Remember Lou Williams? He left the bubble to go to Magic City.
Oh no, that's not that Magic City Classic. This is
I know.
Oh my god.
I know. That's I said. No lemon pepper wings. Wrong Magic City.
Honestly, there might be a tent there with some lemon pepper wings, to be honest. But yeah, Magic City Classic this weekend. Coach Maynard and company, they may blow this. I don't think that they can win. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Eddie Robinson Jr.'s team is gonna come out on top. I like Alabama State to win it.
I'm sorry, I'm reading something where it says, I'll talk about it when we get to the NFL section. Yeah. I mean, SC State, we're going to talk about them, I guess. The MEAC's just poverty.
Yeah. It's
I don't want to be rude or anything, but it's pretty poverty.
It has been, but I will say I liked what I was seeing from NC Central. I felt like honestly, I had a hunch that they could have went into Orangeburg and got the job done, but Buddy Pugh still proves that he's the dean of the MEAC and he owns that conference. So it feels like we may be headed to another Jackson State, South Carolina State Celebration Bowl.
It looks like it. I wouldn't be shocked if South Carolina State just says, you know what? Why not? Let's just wreck some hell again. Be poverty against FAMU and then just come out of nowhere and thwomp Jackson State again.
It would not even surprise me, dude. It really wouldn't.
No, it would not.
But I think we hit on everything. Oh,
All right.
so one more thing before we do switch. If you saw Willie Simmons' coach's show on Facebook Live Monday night, he spoke about the discipline of the team because he did say at the half he was very unhappy with the production that took place in the Grambling game. He even said in the locker room, "I don't know who this FAMU team is, but that was not us. We need to come out and we need to play like we're capable of playing." And quite honestly, I agree with him. Because from this moment forward, you cannot have 100-yard games worth of penalties. I know Ace agrees. I know he does. Just like shaking his head.
Pain all around.
Yeah,
All right.
which
one you want to talk about first? Which poverty part?
I mean, look, honestly, I need to talk about this one.
You was gonna talk about this one? Okay, I can talk about this one first.
Dude, I am just not shocked.
I said this yesterday on Last Give. I told people, I said Sam Ellinger is better than both Matt Ryan and Russell Wilson after that Thursday night game. I said he can't possibly be worse than what both those quarterbacks were doing. And Ryan has not looked good this year. You wanted to hold the benefit of doubt last year because you didn't have Ridley for most of it. You didn't have Julio. Okay, maybe just didn't have receivers. But you got Pittman this year, and you're like, one game he looks decent, the next game he looks like he shouldn't even be in the XFL. So
you're right. It's just like it's like the skeptics had said. His arm is shot. He looks like he has to work harder than a lot of the other guys. The Colts, they can't win with him. They can't. And it was a waste of money to bring him in. I think they got desperate.
Waste of picks. I think they gave a third for him. They got 2 from Wentz, and they traded one of them for Ryan.
Exactly. And the Falcons look like geniuses doing this.
The Falcons look like geniuses in a lot of their moves.
They do.
They got rid of Julio.
Looks like a genius. Got rid
of Ryan. Deion Jones ain't all that anymore.
I heard he was.
Who else they got rid of?
Oh yeah, no, he did get traded.
Yeah, he got traded 2 weeks ago to Cleveland.
Yeah, it's the Browns.
Yeah, they got rid of their core from that era.
They let go of Devontae Freeman, who realistically, I don't even think he's in football anymore.
No, he's not in the NFL.
Yeah, see, it's
last year was his last year.
Yeah, see, is Tevin Coleman even in the NFL?
Yeah, he was on the 49ers for a bit until they traded for McCaffrey. Now he's on the practice squad.
Wow, geez, that you look at that whole entire Atlanta.
Taylor Gabriel's not even in the NFL anymore.
It's insane. You know, like I said, when you really look at that Falcons team from 2016, like you can just see how that Super Bowl loss just really affected them. It hit that team so hard that they were good still in 2017, but
no, they lost to Nick Foles in 2017.
I mean, but they made the playoffs.
And that was the final nail in the coffin. Nick Foles put the final nail in.
Exactly.
Well, no, Jalen Mills put in the final nail in the coffin because he kept Julio out of bounds or incompleted to force incompletion.
But yeah, dude, like they weren't the same after Super Bowl 51. That really, really hurt. And Arthur Blank has been trying to rebuild that thing. It's insane.
Well, I mean, they look like the most competent team some weeks in the NFC South, though.
They do. I really must say.
And Arthur Smith's not a good head coach either, but he's the best one in the South.
That
is saying something. The man does not use his best 2 weapons, but he's somehow good.
Look, call it crazy, but man, look, if everybody's not careful, Falcons can win the NFC South. Ashton Harris. Say, FAMU let UAPB hang around. I don't like our chances against. Honestly, at this point, it's like I question right now, our chances against Southern.
Like I said, it depends on which Southern team shows up.
Exactly. Either the Southern team that got beat by Texas Southern is going to show up, or the Southern team that went in there and physically whooped Prairie View before and after the game is going to show up. So it does depend. But even still, struggling against South Carolina State and Grambling, two teams you were obviously better than, it's a cause for a little bit of concern. Hopefully, coming out of the bye week, we see a better product. And that's what I expect. I expect to go up there this weekend and see a much better product. But yeah, go ahead, Ace. Go ahead.
Where were we? Oh yeah, we're talking about the NFC South with him not using Drake London or Kyle Pitts, Arthur Smith.
Yeah.
I have no idea how they beat the 49ers and then just get absolutely shellacked by the Bengals. Like, the defense looked good against the 49ers and then looked terrible against the Bengals. Albeit AJ Terrell did leave that game. Also Jamar Chase did too.
Inconsistency, trying to find themselves again, or trying to find an identity, trying to learn how to win games. They're young. Give them time. Just give them time. They got to keep their core together that they're trying to rebuild. And plus, at some point, too, Desmond Ridder is going to have to take over.
I said that too yesterday. I said, you have Ryan throwing less than 15 passes a game. How much worse can Desmond Ridder be?
Exactly. So you might as well at some point. You got to throw him in there, let him get his feet wet. You have to. And you still got time to do it this season. So I'm hoping that we see him at some point this season because I am curious to see what he can do.
All right, I'm going to type one in so you talk while I type this one in.
All right, so one I'm going to actually put in here is, are the Giants quietly the sleeper in the NFC East? I would say yes. Be careful, Philadelphia. If you're not careful, the Giants can take this from you. Because the Giants are quietly becoming one of the best teams, and it speaks volumes to Brian Dable and what he's going to do.
I'm gonna put something in there. If the Giants beat the Eagles, and the Saints lose to the Raiders, Alvin Kamara is an Eagle by the end of next week.
You think so? Why do you say that?
I think they blow it up. If they're smart, they blow it up. If they lose to the Raiders, and
hold on, but before you, okay, so you want the Saints?
I'm like, if somehow you can get Philadelphia to give you back your first round pick, if you have to give up Kamara and like a later pick, even, you got to do it. Because at this rate, that pick's gonna be top 5.
Wow.
I'm like, hey, let Kamara go win, man. He's gonna die on this sorry ass team and this sorry ass coaching staff.
I mean, Archie Manning died on that sorry ass team and that sorry ass coaching staff too. Let me stop. That was messed up.
and this man in the middle right here, between both of our heads, he need to go and retire himself too. I ain't holding back on this Tennessee South. I'm sorry. This Tennessee South is so dog shit.
Honestly, dude. You're seeing firsthand, and this is why I said it before Todd Bowles even got to Tampa. I said it when he got fired from New York. He's a good coordinator. He's a good defensive coordinator. Excellent defensive mind. He's not cut out to be an NFL head coach. He's
Both
not.
of them aren't.
And Byron Leftwich, Jacksonville dodged a huge bullet. It would have hurt Trevor Lawrence's growth. It would have hurt that young core's growth in Jacksonville for them to even consider bringing in and hiring Byron Leftwich. It would have hurt.
Do you think the enemy's that bad?
I'm saying Byron Leftwich is.
No, I'm saying Leftwich was, but remember during the offseason we had Leftwich and Bieniemy in the same conversation of.
Honestly, Bieniemy would have done more good, I think.
You had the man in an interview for 8 hours, and you knew all along you were going to be nepotism and go hire that crackerhead from Texas.
Well, you gotta understand. This is what happens too. teams do the Rooney Rule just for the sake of honoring it. They already have their mind up. They already have their mind made
Mm-hmm.
up, which is the sad fact of the
Unless they pull a Josh McDaniels or Brian Leftwich.
A lot of these teams realize, okay, well, we got to do is just interview one or two African American head coaches just to say we did in order just to get
But
out.
I think they had already satisfied the Rooney Rule before they interviewed Bieniemy, because they had interviewed Aaron Glenn and Flores before they interviewed Bieniemy. So I don't know what the hell they were thinking, unless they're like, did they hire Dennis Allen to show Sean Payton was that good so they can get a better haul for him? I
Yes.
don't know what the hell was the logic,
They
but
did.
this man actually garbage. I
I
don't want
think
to keep saying dog shit, but he's actually garbage.
I think with the Saints, what it was I think they wanted to keep it in house.
The culture is bullshit. It is pure bullshit. What was the whole culture? You traded Gardner Johnson because you wanted to keep the culture. And look at the damn culture now. You ain't got nobody on defense. DeMario can't save that defense. The secondary is in shambles. Your secondary has your whole starting lineup out from injuries. Tyrann Mathieu there for a goddamn paycheck and nothing much else. Marcus May's on one leg, not doing much else beside that. He just gone wobbling around like a penguin.
Cam Jordan is there to save the day.
Marcus Davenport is so overweight right now. He's just bulldozing guys and can't even touch a quarterback.
But what about Cam Jordan and his 70s Soul Train afro?
Man,
And his
Hercule Jordan cannot save anybody on that defense.
What you call him?
Hercule Jordan from Hercule Satan from Dragon Ball. You look at Mr. Satan and you look at Cam Jordan. They're the same person. They're the same person.
Oh my
Mr.
God.
Satan from DBZ and the Boo Saga. Or no, yeah, hell, even the Cell Saga. Mr. Satan looks exactly like Cam Jordan. He can't even do shit.
You terrible.
No, I'm being real. The team is you're hired to be a defensive coach, right? Both Bowles and Allen, they were defensive coordinators with elite defenses, and they were hired to be head coaches. What is the worst part on both of them teams right now?
You're right. You're right.
The defense. That is embarrassing and beyond. Then you say, oh, okay, we hired an offensive coach, and the offense is dog shit. What do you want to know? Denver. And your offense is garbage. Well, hell, they're contemplating firing him if he loses this weekend. Why the hell is not Tampa and New Orleans having the same conversation? Because their coaching staff has been just as bad.
You're right. You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. And honestly, I'm telling you this now. I know we're going to save for hot topics, but I'm going to tell you this now. If you have the Ravens defense or if you have Lamar Jackson, start them.
No, Devin White's going to take a shot at Lamar. He does it to every good player he plays.
If he can catch him.
Well, true, yeah, but he might just go and
bored.
Huh?
He might be too bored.
Ain't Bucks fans turning on Devin White right now?
Oh, I don't even know what to call that, honestly. I really don't.
They've been mad with him. I don't even know for what. I just know they've been mad at him.
No, it's because of his comment. They asked him, they said, how come you let the Falcons get back in the game? And he said, oh, I guess we were just bored.
They were bored. The Falcons thoroughly outplayed Tampa in that second half. If Jerome Berger had a set of eyes, Atlanta wins that game.
I'm telling you, dude, Jerome Boger is a former MEAC official, which goes to show you why he sucks.
Yeah, Arizona couldn't even get called for a penalty until like third or fourth quarter.
There you have it.
On the 2-point conversion, which flipped the game on its head, right before the 2 pick sixes. It was a clear low block outside the box, and they didn't even call it.
There you have it.
And it was clear and obvious, and they said, nah, we're good. We're going to just roll with it, guys. And then Andy Dalton. Let's talk about Andy Dalton.
I thought we were.
We don't have a ticket for it. Type a banner for Andy Dalton, please.
Oh my!
I don't know what we could type up.
I mean,
but this man, come on now. Let's be real. All right. He plays against Minnesota, right? Offense looks stagnant. They have a 2-minute drill coming up before halftime. Tie game. What he does? He holds onto the ball. Could have thrown it away. He had nobody open. And what does he do? Takes a strip sack fumble trying to make a play from nothing. like if he's Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Cost them 3 points. How much did they lose by again? Let me check. Oh wait, they lost by 3 points. Shocker.
Did they?
Yeah, they lost by 3. And then you go with Cincinnati. You throw a horrible interception to Tariq Woolen
Okay.
on an outside route, a comeback, and you're like, what the hell are you thinking? The guy was clearly covered. And then you let Taysom Hill essentially. Taysom Hill is the reason why they beat Seattle. Let's be real. They shouldn't have beat Seattle. Seattle's actually a really good team for some crazy reason. I don't know. Pete Carroll's just that guy of a coach.
Pete Carroll is that guy.
Pete Carroll's him. Timothy for Pete Carroll. But yeah, so he doesn't even beat Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
He goes against Cincinnati. He throws 1 touchdown, and then Rashid Shaheed and Taysom Hill does their other 2 touchdowns. Can't score a touchdown for your life in the red zone. And then what happens? Your defense gives up a touchdown to Jamar Chase. You have a 2-minute drill coming up to win the game. What he does? 3rd and 10 on the 40-yard line of Cincinnati. You're almost in field goal range. What does he do? He takes a sack instead of dumping it out into the flats. Trying to be a hero. I thought these were conversations we have for Jameis, though. Picks and sacks. I thought this was all conversation for Jameis. Wait, who am I talking about again? Remind me, who am I talking about again? I can't remember.
Look,
and then let's talk about Arizona.
Oh,
if you don't know who threw this ball, I won't say who the quarterback was. Threw the ball into double coverage in the end zone. Who do you think that was the quarterback for that play? Or even better, who threw 2 pick sixes in a minute and 3 seconds? One of them where he had Kamara right open on his right side, and he tried forcing a ball to Olave behind the defender. Who was that quarterback? Was it Jameis? Was it Jameis? Tell me, I can't hear. Say it a little louder. I didn't hear you.
Oh my gosh. It was the Red Rifle.
And then what does the head coach tell him at halftime? Dude threw 2 pick sixes in a minute and 3 seconds. What did the head coach tell him? Calm down. You got this. Get your mind focused. Or, hey, we're going to go with the backup. It's just not your night. We'll go with the backup, see if he gives us a spark. You think he said that? You think he said that? No, he did not say that.
I honestly
he said, hey, man, you're doing great. Keep doing what you're doing.
I honestly felt
that man threw 2 pick sixes in a minute and 3 seconds. Keep doing what you're doing.
I honestly felt that Jameis should have came into that game Thursday night.
I truly believe Jameis should have played that game in that second half.
Hey.
Because the reason why you had Andy Dalton for Jameis is, okay, Jameis has the turnovers. Andy Dalton will protect the football. Bullshit. Andy Dalton has the same amount of turnovers as Jameis Winston, if you include fumbles.
Facts.
And Jameis, Nick Underhill reported he had a ruptured, one of his plantar muscles in his foot had ruptured. If I pull up the exact thing, give me a second.
Okay, so he's got a ruptured plantar muscle in his foot. Okay.
And that happened against Tampa.
Okay.
And ruptured peroneal tendon in his foot. That happened against Tampa. What happened also against Tampa? 3 interceptions and 4 drives.
Yeah.
3 interceptions and 4 drives. What happened against Carolina? 3 interceptions on balls that sailed.
Correct.
Clearly hurt. Because against Atlanta, he had 0 picks. And last year with Champagne, he had 3 interceptions while still throwing it pretty decently. Then what does the head coach go and say? Okay, Andy Dalton started. Fine, whatever. And guess what he says? Hey, Jameis is fully healthy. It's purely an offense decision. Purely offense-based because Andy Dalton was leading the offense better, which is like what he's been doing.
Mm-hmm. Hey, man, I'm telling you. Fifth quarter in the French quarter is going to catch a lot of W's there.
Hey, man, if somebody gives you any pick between rounds 1 to 2 for Michael Thomas, you take it. Kansas City or Green Bay.
So the other thing that happens this week too is you have Josh Allen and the Bills welcoming Aaron and the Packers to
Aaron, not Aaron.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest, that's gonna be a bloodbath.
It is. Stephon Diggs is gonna toast him. Nice spiced and diced.
Him, Gabe Davis, Josh Allen, all of them. And then Von Miller is going to be on Aaron Rodgers' head all night long. It's going to get ugly. Very ugly. I don't get it. I don't know what's going on with Green Bay, especially.
But Matt LaFleur is getting exposed, or is just Aaron Rodgers washed?
I think it's a little bit of both, honestly. I think it's a little bit of both.
I think LaFleur's. I don't even think LaFleur's calling the plays. I think Rodgers has been calling the plays. If I'm not mistaken, I think he said he's been calling the plays.
Dude, he's been checking to certain plays, basically.
Yeah, and then you have A.J. Dillon getting, I think, only 4 touches last week. Aaron Jones had like 4 carries, but he had like 10 receiving targets and 2 TDs off of passes. But I mean, you got Romeo Doubs, Sammy Watkins, and that's it. I don't know why they haven't traded for Brandon Cooks or a different wide receiver yet. I mean, unless they're like, hey, we're gonna hold. I think we can find good guys in the second to sixth round, or we'll just give Rodgers some more 7th round picks to throw to, see what happens.
Aaron Rodgers is gonna retire, just based off of just merely being upset with that incompetent franchise.
Especially after getting $250 million, that's just hilarious.
Exactly, and he's gonna get every penny of it, and he could just retire and sip on his scotch.
Sit in California in Malibu and just be chilling. He's like, I don't care.
Exactly.
I'm getting my money. Sorry, Devontae.
Probably down one of his pot brownies in the process.
Psychedelics.
Exactly. Let me stop. Let's move on. Oh my gosh. All right. So we've got college football this weekend as well, too. As you already stated, college game is going to be in Jackson, Mississippi, of course. It's getting really interesting. So this is a question, it was a question on here. I guess I got rid of it. Is Tennessee in position where they can win the East? Honestly, they are. But do you believe in Tennessee in a rematch against Alabama? Do you?
I think Alabama adjusts, and I think Bryce Young's a little bit more healthy, but their defense has to get some soul searching done so they don't get gassed on like 80-yard bombs every play.
Exactly. Yep, I agree. And see, the other thing too is Alabama still needs to beat Ole Miss, of course, which is
LSU just stomped them down.
True.
So I expect that to happen.
And Alabama has to beat LSU too. No game is easy in the SEC.
Especially with Jaden Daniels running for 3 touchdowns every week.
Exactly. And Jaden Daniels is really, in my opinion,
Taysom Hill.
Not a Taysom Hill, but I was gonna say like a B-list Hendon Hooker.
I'd have said C-list, but he's got better legs.
Oh, well, C-list.
That's why I said Taysom Hill. He doesn't throw it much, but he's really good running. Better than Anthony. He is gap level version of Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson is the Walmart brand.
Stop. Oh my gosh.
And Jaden Daniels is like that fancy Nordstrom clothes.
I am literally going to quote you now. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Oh my! You're going to get famous off of that quote on its own. Let me see. Anthony Richardson is the Walmart brand, so he's great value. Okay, great value brand. Wow. Oh my gosh, what was that? What's
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels is the what did you say? Nordstrom is the Nordstrom value QB. Great value brand QB. Okay. Okay, there we go. Yep, definitely gonna quote you on that at the end of this episode.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, no worries. There gonna be some Florida fans have fun with you.
Oh man, but didn't LSU beat Florida?
Yes, they did. So I really can't say anything.
yeah, some good.
Yeah,
We're
no, yeah, you'll
good.
be fine. You'll be fine. And then plus, you had a lot of Kentucky players.
And Anthony Richardson, I'm gonna pull it up now. You got me wanting to pull this up. Give me a second.
You had a lot of Kentucky players who said Anthony Richardson.
Ooh,
was MVP.
yes. We got no class tomorrow.
Oh, it must be nice.
Yeah, COVID canceled it. I think the teacher showed up with COVID, so we got to cancel.
Look, you can just go to Tallahassee now, dude. You can just I'll just meet you there Friday.
Bro, I got 2 exams to do Saturday.
Are they online?
Yeah, but both proctored.
You can just still go to Tallahassee. Just go ahead. I'll meet you there. Just go ahead.
What am I doing again? Oh yeah, I'm pulling up LSU Florida stats. Give me a second.
Okay, yeah, but go ahead. But yes, so I think if Tennessee can get past Georgia, they have a chance to basically win the East, of course. Won't be easy though, because again, that game is between the hedges at 3:30. It should have been in primetime television.
6 TDs. Anthony Richardson had 6 total touchdowns against Florida.
You mean Jaden Daniels?
Oh yeah, Jaden Daniels, LSU, had 6 total touchdowns
Okay.
against Florida, while Anthony Richardson had 2.
He said
Walmart Nordstrom.
He said it. Like I said, I have the quote. He said it. But good God. Oh my goodness.
I'm
Another
in a mood.
I guess we're just giving Florida a hard time tonight. You know, does Florida stand any chance in Jacksonville this weekend?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Solid 30-point blowout. I think 40.
Look, it's gonna be ugly this weekend. I'm sorry. That I can tell you now firsthand from my experience last year, because Florida Georgia was on the same weekend as homecoming last year. My ride from where I am right now, all the way 3 hours and 58 minutes to Tallahassee, Florida, I saw nothing but Georgia fans gunning it down I-10, getting to Jacksonville. On my way up 75 or 95 to get to I-10, I saw no Florida fans at all. None. I saw no Florida fans at all.
I wonder if they knew the outcome.
They did last year. They knew the outcome. They knew. Something told me too on that ride going to Tallahassee. I was like, Georgia's about to win the national title. I can feel it. I felt it last year. It's as crazy as that is to say.
I don't even remember what I said for Georgia last year. I can't tell you anything I said last year.
I don't know. Well, we're gonna remember Great Value in Nordstrom. We're sure gonna remember that.
Yeah. I think people are gonna see Anthony Richardson and they're gonna think Josh Allen. But I don't think no matter what miracle Matt Water they use for Josh Allen to fix his accuracy issues in Buffalo in his year between year 2 and 3, I don't think none of that magic can save Anthony Richardson. I mean, sure, they got the same builds, similar builds, same athleticism abilities, same cannon and arm. I don't see how Anthony Richardson fixes that throwing. Yeah, at least Josh Allen was throwing the football in Wyoming and he looked decent. Anthony Richardson looks terrible throwing the football.
There you go. There you go. Also, too, the first college football playoff rankings are expected to come out next week. So it's interesting right now. So they basically, last night I was watching it after I got back from where I was at. They had a mock, I guess, of what it might look like. So
who's currently number 4?
The one I saw was Georgia, Ohio State, Tennessee, Michigan.
Michigan.
With the first 2 out as Clemson and Alabama at 5 and 6.
I would expect that to be, but when it's all said and done, I would not be shocked if it is. It's gonna be crazy to say, but Georgia, Ohio State, Tennessee, Alabama.
Wouldn't surprise me either. Would not surprise me.
This is how it's gonna go, right? So I would assume, let's just say hypothetical, you have Tennessee beats Georgia, right? Crazy. Yeah. But then they lose to Alabama in the SEC title game.
Tennessee's 1 loss. Alabama's still a 1-loss team too. And Georgia
1 loss. Ohio State beats Michigan.
If Ohio State beats Michigan,
They'd
then
be 1 probably. Tennessee
they'd be
be
number 1 team.
2. Alabama be 3. Georgia 4, or Georgia 3. Alabama 4.
Well, let's see. SEC championship. If Alabama gets revenge and beats Tennessee, Alabama would be 2 because Ohio State would be.
Oh
1.
yeah, Alabama would be 2 and Tennessee 3 and Georgia
And then
4.
Georgia would be 4 because technically, yeah. And then Georgia would be the team that sneaks in because I guarantee.
And then Georgia just trounces and thromps and blows out Ohio State. Poor CJ Stroud dying on the field.
Now, the other thing that needs to be brought to the attention too is this: it could get shaken up, and Georgia or Tennessee in that case could get left out if and only if Clemson runs the table and goes undefeated.
That is true too, but considering what happened with Syracuse and DJ having a terrible game for the first time all year, gotta pump the brakes. I had to pump the brakes on Clemson. I mean, they got probably one of the best running backs in college football right now, and Will Shipley. Isn't he a junior by now?
He's a senior.
He's got to be a junior by now. He's gonna be. Someone's gonna be oozing at him and look at him and say, "Ooh, that's McCaffrey right there," and not because he's white.
You sure? You sure it's not? You sure? But I think he's definitely going pro after this season. I feel like Clemson just catches a lot of lucky breaks, honestly, in the ACC because it's not that good. It's been interesting, but it's not as good as it's been in the past. And I mean, that was the most competitive Florida State Clemson game I've ever seen in a long time. But I mean, it's games like that, and then the game against Wake Forest, and then the game against Syracuse. Those 3 games worry me for Clemson going forward. I don't think Clemson's better than Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, or Ohio State right now. But I could see if they're undefeated, it's hard to keep them out.
Man, no one's watching.
Yeah, it'd be all right. They probably are watching on Facebook.
Yeah, probably. I forgot to say, if you're on Facebook, click the link in the profile picture in the bio and come to YouTube and watch. It actually helps the channel more if you watch on YouTube than on Facebook. I forgot to say that.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, we got 2 people watching on Twitter. So if you are watching on Twitter, be sure to head over to YouTube as well and leave a comment.
And for that comment section.
Yes.
It gets real fun when you guys sit in the comment section because we can talk about different things.
It does.
All right. Hot topics. Let's talk about some World Series. Jalen Hurts being an Astros fan in Philadelphia.
To be fair,
he's born in Houston, and I actually like it.
Exactly. Like, he was born in Houston. Like, he a Texas kid. He went back to the heartland basically to go to college at Oklahoma to be closer to home, plus to play. So
and he beat Texas.
Exactly. So I cut him some slack. I don't see anything wrong with it.
Me neither. I just like Philly fans being upset.
Now, to be real with you, it wouldn't surprise me if the Astros went out and won this World Series, though. By the way,
I'd be annoyed.
Game 1 Friday night. So I'll be peeping in.
I want Philly to win, but I won't be surprised if Houston wins. I'll just be annoyed.
I can live with it, honestly. Because I don't really care for the Phillies. But also
I don't care for either team. Poor Allison. Allison picked the Braves and the Mariners, and they lost within 2 days of it.
We when we get her back on here, we're gonna talk about it, and we're just gonna be like, "Look, Allison, we're praying for you. We're praying for her."
And then she said the thing with Cam Akers, drop him in fantasy, and the next 2 days later, he gets put on the trading block.
She was right about that.
She said drop him. I mean, I'm expecting him to get traded. I don't know what's taking so long. I'm surprised. I mean, if this is a big if the Saints beat the Raiders, don't be surprised if Josh Jacobs gets traded to the Rams. I mean, it makes too much sense for that trade to happen where it's Akers in a second going to Vegas for Josh Jacobs. It makes too much sense, and I don't know why this trade hasn't happened yet.
Who knows, dude? Who knows?
They were gonna offer 2 2s, I believe, for McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
They would offer and Akers. I believe they'd offer at least 1-2 in Akers for Jacobs. If the Raiders fall to 2-6. And they throw in the towel because they don't want to pay Jacobs next year. They take that second and they run.
All right, awesome. So
Halloween stuff.
No. First, we got to dive into stardom or sit 'em, and then Halloween.
Oh, let me ask you this one first. Before
Okay.
we do start and sit him for fantasy purposes. So someone wants to know, what would they have to give up for Amon-Ra St. Brown and CeeDee Lamb, my top 2 receivers, plus I have Olave also.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. And
That's the dude on the line. CeeDee Lamb. This dude somehow lucked out at running back. He's got Swift, Pierce, ETN, and Kenneth Walker. But he has a personal oath not to trade anybody he drafted. So I'm like, well,
I would get rid
if you want CD, I want Walker no matter. Or if I'm trading CD or Amon-Ra, I want Walker no matter what.
I get rid of Kenneth Walker because the Seahawks never. I feel like the Seahawks have like a rotating door at running back. Honestly,
No, well, Walker's been good. Walker's been getting almost 18 carries a game, and he's running off over 100 yards and a touchdown. I mean, is it sustainable? I don't know, but the Giants' run defense is suspect.
The Pierce is good too, and then so
he won't trade Pierce because it's a guy he drafted. So I'm after. He wants to trade Mostert. I'm like, hell no, I don't want Mostert.
If anything, if I were him, I'd drop Mostert.
I mean, he's like, oh, Mostert's so good. No, Mostert's garbage. I don't know how the hell Mostert's actually relevant at age 31. I won't touch him with a 10-foot pole.
I would have said just drop Mostert. So.
Man, if I'm trading Lamb, I want Walker and a wide receiver because I don't feel comfortable just rolling with 2 wide receivers left. I have a zero face Michael Thomas actually comes back unless he gets traded. And then I feel a little bit more confident with my wide receiver group.
Why you got all these Saints players getting traded?
I want them to win, and this team is so dog shit. The dead cap would be gigantic with Michael Thomas getting traded, though. He'd be like 28 million dead cap. But hey, if you get a first-round pick for him, somebody overpays. Wow. I take it. Just saying. I'd help him pack his bags to go Kansas City and catch balls with Patrick Mahomes.
Don't do that. Wow.
That would help you and your fantasy team.
Probably would, honestly. All right.
Yeah, you got Terry McLaurin off of waivers. I don't know who the hell dropped Terry McLaurin.
I picked
up Kareem Hunt because I know Kareem Hunt's getting traded.
But as far as fantasy football stardom or sitting for quarterbacks, we got start.
Before we do that, actually, one more thing. I don't want to cut you off.
Right.
Hey, I said ETN to the moon last week. What happened? James Robinson traded ETN to the moon.
I wish I could have jumped on that.
All right, let's do start and sit him. I'm ready.
All right, so you got Tua Tagovailoa against the Lions. Stardom. Kirk Cousins against the Cardinals.
You're not even asking me.
Daniel Jones against the Seahawks. They say start him.
Man, ask me the question.
This is actually an interesting one that I think would really concern
I
me.
give good fantasy advice for everybody beside myself.
Derek Carr starting against the Saints. Would you start that?
Yeah. I have zero faith in the Saints secondary. Alante's been good, but everybody else in that secondary is dog shit. Said it like 4 times already today. That is the only good player. Alante Taylor is the 4th best corner in that draft. Ooh. I say that because Tariq Woolen is number 2, Sauce is number 1, and Stingley's number 3.
The next interesting.
Sauce, Woolen, Stingley, Taylor.
Sit Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers against the Ravens and the Bills.
Man, drop them both. Be dead serious. I'd say drop them both. I'd take Trevor Lawrence over Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady right now.
Funny you're saying that too. They say sit Trevor Lawrence against the
Broncos. Well, this week against the Broncos defense is good. But, hey, Giants defense against the pass has been good too, and he did decent against them. Got a solid 18 points from him in my bye week of Josh Allen. So, if I had a choice between Lawrence, Rodgers, or Brady, I'd take Lawrence. If I had a choice between Brady, Rodgers, or Zach Wilson, though, I'd take both of the old heads. If I had a choice between Justin Fields, Tom Brady, or Aaron Rodgers, I'd go between Brady, Fields, Rodgers.
Fair enough.
Because Baltimore secondary is garbage too. So, well, they've been better as of late, but
At running back, we got start Christian McCaffrey against the Rams. Start
yeah,
Pollard against the Bears.
yeah, Zeke's out.
Start. It's funny. We actually gave this guy a hard time just a few seconds ago. Start Raheem Mostert against the Lions.
Yeah, Lions' run defense is garbage.
After the week he had last week, start Dante Foreman against the Falcons.
Man, I wouldn't touch any Panthers running back, but if you got to do it, you got to do it.
All right, now I think this one goes hand in hand because Khalil Herbert's starting to make some noise. Sit David Montgomery against the Cowboys. I agree. Khalil Herbert is making noise.
Well, David Montgomery is better than a couple of running back options. I mean, it depends on what your running back situation is looking like. But, I mean, like, if you had the choice between, let's say, Montgomery, Rashad White, A.J. Dillon, or hell, God, I'm drawing a blank on the guy I'm thinking of. Even Najee, I'd take David Montgomery over them. Because Pittsburgh's got the Eagles. The Eagles' run defense has been solid. I'd take Montgomery against the Cowboys. Because Miles Sanders was getting good yards on the Cowboys.
Facts. Sit A.J. Dillon against the Bills.
Yeah. A.J. Dillon's, I think, dropped territory, except he's a handcuff for Aaron Jones.
Sit Melvin Gordon against the Jags. Sit Darrell Henderson against the 49ers.
I don't trust Darrell Henderson because he's going to have 1 week of value before the Rams trade for a running back, and I believe they will trade for a running back, which is why I didn't pick him up this week.
Mm-hmm.
Is because I believe they will trade for a running back. They won't go with him. Only because if you watch what they did the week before the bye against Carolina, they gave Malcolm Brown 7 carries. Ain't nobody in their right mind gives Malcolm Brown 7 carries unless they have zero faith in the starter.
Mm-hmm. Wide receivers for this week. And then we can move on to our Halloween stuff. Gabe Davis, start him against the Packers.
Absolutely. Oh, my God. He's going to catch at least one bomb for a touchdown, I have a feeling.
Devontae Smith, start him against the Steelers secondary.
I'd pumped the brakes on him. Steelers secondary has been decent as of late.
Mm-hmm.
Because they gave Tyreek some trouble. Anyway, Tyreek was running wild. Waddle was not running wild. Who did they play the week before? I'm drawing a blank. Tampa.
Oh.
No, they played the Tampa the week before. And Mike Evans and Chris Godwin wasn't running all over him. Something clicked in Pittsburgh out for some reason after Witherspoon got hurt. And they've been better. Pierre. I'm forgetting who the other guy is on the other side, so don't kill me here. Sheesh. I'm drawing a complete blank on who the other guy is, but they've been better as of late. So, I mean, he's not like a bona fide start. I mean, he's probably going to get you 15 when I say this. So. It all depends on what you got. I mean, he's solid flex pay. I wouldn't start him at wide receiver, too, if I have to.
Mm-hmm. The other one we got here, which is interesting because they said to sit the QB but start the wide receiver. Start Chris Godwin against the Ravens.
Yeah, the slot's gettable.
And then we've also got here Brandon Cooks, start him against the Titans.
Brandon Cooks might be on a different team before this week's over.
I can see that too. They say start Rashad Bateman against the Bucs defense. My bad.
Rashad Bateman, is Rashad Bateman even playing?
This is sit him. Sit Cortland Sutton against the Jaguars defense. Sit Rashad Bateman against the Bucs defense. And sit Romeo Doubs against
Paulo's got 21 already on the Cavs. He's got 21 points plus in his first 5 games.
Impressive.
Power for Rookie of the Year, Justin Fields to the Saints. Those are my two agendas I'm pushing for the rest of the year.
And then the final one is sit Michael Gallup against the Bears defense.
The Cowboys' offense is so annoying, if you know what I mean.
I know.
CeeDee Lamb is clearly the best receiver on that team, and for some reason Dak Prescott hates him. Dak Prescott gave him 6 targets. 6. Like hell. I mean, Dalton Schultz on the one leg got like 5 or 6 if I'm not mistaken. Noah Brown got the same amount of targets as CD.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am so fed up with the Cowboys. It's unbelievable with Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. At least like Cooper Rush, he was terrible, and he missed CD on a couple throws, but at least he was throwing him the ball.
I agree.
And 3 straight games of 10 points for CeeDee Lamb has not been good. And he has yet to get over 24 points, fantasy-wise.
I agree. Now, that brings us now to the interesting part. I wish I had some Halloween music to put with this. What's your favorite Halloween film?
Charlie Brown and the Pumpkin Patch. Or what's his name?
You come on. You know what? I could see you sitting down watching a Peanut special. Just a 2-hour-long Peanut special. I could see you just sitting there with your dog just doing that. I don't even know what to say. I could just see you just sitting.
No, wait, what's the one called? It's like the Ghost. I forgot what it's called. God.
I feel like do you watch the Charlie Brown Christmas specials too?
I have the CD for it. I just make it a thing where I watch it every year.
Of course. For me, I'm going to say the Halloween franchise I like, although some people kind of rag on it a little bit. Friday the 13th.
It's the Great Pumpkin.
Oh, actually, Halloween is on right now. Oh, the new one is actually on right now. Yeah, Halloween franchise, Friday the 13th. Another good one. Especially watch the older ones. Pretty good. So those are my 2 horror films that I enjoy the most.
Ghostbusters.
That wasn't even a horror film.
I don't do horror films.
Oh my goodness. Everyone's entitled to at least one good scare.
Yeah. I make that in life. I don't need that in in movies.
All right. Since I feel like our season 4 might be over by Thanksgiving, let me ask you this. What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish, since we know you love food so much?
That's a good question. There's so many options.
Just go ahead and guess Popeye's turkey.
Nah, I don't do the Popeyes turkey. I smoke my turkey.
You can smoke a Popeye's turkey. I've done it.
Give me an idea. If you can find a turkey, that is. Because some bird flu knock out like half the turkey population.
Get some old.
Rest in peace, turkeys. Rest in peace.
Get some Old Bay and some Zatarain's juice, some Zatarain's crab boil juice. Dude, it actually
Nah, there's a Cajun one. There's a Cajun mix they sell. It's like, oh God, I'm forgetting the name of it. It's one they sell in Publix. It's a Cajun mix, like with an injector, and you push it in and you inject it into the turkey.
I've had that too. I've done that to my Popeye's turkey.
It's Cajun butter. I'm forgetting what the brand is called.
Yeah, I make my own stuff, man.
Well, is that plus a different wine and some different seasonings you throw in there with a little bit of Trini stuff, and you good.
Wow, interesting. But folks, that's going to do it for us and wrap this episode up. Hope you've enjoyed this.
Wasn't this said something we were going to talk about in Hot Topics, but we said we weren't going to do, and I forgot what it was.
The other thing, too, is be mindful. FAMU versus University of Arkansas Pine Bluff pregame breakdown tomorrow night at 8 p.m. because I do need a travel day. So make sure you tune in tomorrow night at 8 p.m. I will stuff my face with my food and my tacos and be ready for you
beforehand. You'll stuff your face beforehand.
Yes, I will stuff my face beforehand, and then I'll come on here. We'll talk about FAMU and Arkansas Pine Bluff. I will not be live after the homecoming game, of course, so enjoy your homecoming. Be responsible. Remember, what happens on homecoming stays on homecoming. Do not bring that
And
drama.
let's hopefully we don't have a giant brawl between the teams like there was last year.
Dude, it wouldn't even surprise me if we even got one.
That wouldn't surprise me either.
It wouldn't, but I don't think there's enough bad blood between these two teams to where that's going to happen.
Nah.
So I mean, I think it'll be okay.
Man, chat was dead today. No drunk. Drunk carried the chat the last couple of days.
He probably didn't show up drunk. He's probably sober.
Yeah, sadly no drunk today. But I mean, yeah. Thank you guys so much for tonight's episode of the Last Skip Podcast. Hope you enjoyed. If you were on Twitter or Facebook, hit up the YouTube page and watch it back, and put in the comments if you have any suggestions or questions for next week's episode.
Of course.
Be a friend, tell a friend. If you enjoy the show, tell your friends so they can tell their friend. And spread the news, spread the word, grow the channel. We can do even better. But yeah. Anything else, JPeeps, before we close it out?
Nope. Y'all stay safe, stay blessed, have a good night. It's time for me to go get my tacos.